If you have ever tried to put structure in place in your business and you immediately felt resistance, there is a reason for that. There is this quiet assumption that once we grow to a certain level in our business, structure should feel natural, that mature businesses have systems and successful leaders are always clear, organized, and available. And yet, when you actually try to get this structure in place, something feels off. It doesn't work the way you expected, or it may even feel more restrictive than you imagined. You may have started with blocking your calendar so you're not always available, and then you start to feel uneasy about not being available all the time. You may write down office hours, but then you hesitate to share them. Or you create a process, but then you ignore it the first time that someone asks for an exception, and then that exception becomes the norm. So instead of your structure feeling supportive, it starts to feel restrictive. And in that moment, it really is. See, when that happens, most people assume they're the problem. They think they lack discipline or that they're avoiding something, but more often than not, structure feels restrictive for one of two reasons. It was either built when you were frustrated, or it was built to support someone else in the way that they operate. So let's talk about the second one first, because it is more common than most people realize. Personally, I've seen a lot of people adopt a system because it worked for someone that they respected or admired. So a coach may share how their calendar is structured, or a colleague shares their onboarding process. Another expert in your industry may be raving about this all-in-one system that was just life-changing for them. Now, on the outside, they all look polished and efficient. So you start to think, this is what a serious business owner should be using, and I'm serious about my business. So you attempt to implement it. But what people don't consider is the context. So you don't know what kind of support they have behind the scenes. You don't even know what the season in their life is. You definitely don't know their energy patterns, their childcare arrangements, the status of their health or their families, or the actual stage of business that they're in. So when you try to duplicate their structure into your business and then expect it to work for you, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work. And when it doesn't, you assume that you're the issue. So you may start to think, well, maybe you just need to be more disciplined, more consistent, and more focused. But in reality, that system you copied was never built to support your life. See, if you're someone who does your best work in long, uninterrupted stretches like me, a scattered calendar that's interrupted with calls at different times is going to drive you crazy. And if you're a caregiver like me, strict office hours without flexibility is not going to work for you either. And when you're a team of one without administrative support, a complex project management system is going to make you feel like you have more work to do than give you relief. See, when you buy into a structure that was built for someone else and someone else's life, you try to operate inside of their capacity model, and that is always going to create more stress. The same thing happens when you build a system out of frustration. When you get to the point that you're tired of being interrupted or overwhelmed, you overcorrect. You start by trying to lock everything down and design something that's too rigid, hoping it's going to fix the stress that you're feeling. While that can look really organized on the outside, it is not sustainable. Eventually, you're going to give up and go back to operating the way that you were before, which reinforces the belief that you just are not good at creating a sound structure. But the issue was never your capability. It was misalignment. You see, intentional structure, it's different. It accounts for your real life in real time and the undeniable fact that your energy shifts. It accounts for family responsibilities, health appointments, caregiving, travel, emotional seasons, those things that don't show up on your calendar, but they affect your capacity. See, when your business structure ignores those realities, it will always feel like something you have to fight with. And if you have to fight with your systems, you are going to stop using them at some point. And I see this all the time with small business owners. They know they need systems and they understand the value of having boundaries, but the versions that they tried to build before didn't feel sustainable. So they quietly went back to relying on themselves for everything, back to storing everything in their head, back to being available all the time, and back to being the one who just makes it work. That doesn't mean you're incapable of building a sound structure. It may simply mean the structure that you built did not match your capacity. It wasn't built to support you. Really, structure should reduce rework, lower the number of decisions you have to make in real time, and make your days more predictable, not more stressful. They should allow you to operate without everything feeling urgent. Most importantly, structure should not create another layer of stress that you simply have to make work. So in the month of March, I want you to notice how your current structure feels, not whether it looks impressive to other people, not whether it mirrors what someone else is doing or using, just whether it actually supports you. Notice where your systems quietly make things easier. Notice where you're overriding your boundaries just to keep peace or make your clients happy. Notice where everything depends on you because nothing has been clearly defined and documented. And please keep in mind you do not fix anything today. You do not need to redesign your business this week. I just want you to pay attention to where your structure actually supports you and where it's quietly working against you. And that difference matters. It's often the first sign that your business is ready for structure that truly supports you. So the goal this month is to help you start taking steps to fix that.